Um, Welcome to Stories That Stay, where William reflects on the lives of remarkable individuals whose memory continues to resonate through time. This channel honors cherished figures from film, music, television, and culture by sharing the moments, achievements, and emotions they left behind. Through every tribute, their story remains alive, meaningful, and forever remembered by those they inspired. Michael Edward Reagan was a voice many Americans came to recognize over decades of political conversation, radio broadcasting, and commentary. Born on March 18, 1945, in Los Angeles, California, he grew up in a household that would later become part of American history. As the adopted son of former U.S. President Ronald Reagan and actress Jane Wyman, Michael's life was shaped by both public attention and personal challenges. Despite being connected to a prominent political legacy, Michael carved out his own identity. He became a respected conservative political commentator known for sharing his opinions with honesty and conviction. Through his work as a radio talk show host and columnist, he built a platform where he could connect directly with people, discussing politics, values, and current events in a way that felt personal and engaging. Michael's journey wasn't always easy, but it was defined by resilience and determination. Over the years, he developed a reputation not just for his political views, but also for his willingness to speak openly about his life experiences. That openness allowed many people to relate to him beyond the world of politics. Family remained an important part of his life. He was a father to Ashley Reagan and Cameron Michael Reagan, and he shared his life with his spouse, Colleen Stearns. Through both his personal and professional life, Michael valued connection, conversation, and staying true to his beliefs. He lived a full and impactful life, reaching the age of 80. While his voice may no longer be heard on the airwaves, the conversations he sparked and the perspectives he shared continue to resonate with those who followed his work. Widely respected for blending music with a deep sense of purpose, Peter Yarrow was born on May 31st, 1938. He became a defining voice of the 1960s folk revival as one-third of Peter, Paul, and Mary, a group whose harmonies and heartfelt performances left a lasting mark on music and culture. Yarrow wasn't just a performer, he was a storyteller who understood the power of song to bring people together. Through classics like Puff the Magic Dragon and Blowin' in the Wind, the trio helped give voice to a generation searching for meaning, justice, and hope during times of social change. Their music often carried messages of peace, civil rights, and compassion, making their concerts feel less like shows and more like shared experiences. What set Yarrow apart was the sincerity he brought to everything he did. On stage, his presence was warm and inviting. Off stage, he remained committed to causes he believed in, using his platform to support education and social awareness. He believed music could heal, teach, and inspire, and he lived that belief every day. Even as the decades passed, his influence never faded. Younger artists continued to draw inspiration from the honesty and simplicity that defined his work. For many, his songs became part of life's soundtrack, played at gatherings, taught in classrooms, and passed down through generations. Peter Yarrow passed away at the age of 86. While his voice may be gone, the spirit behind it remains. His music still echoes wherever people come together to sing, reflect, and hope for a better world. In the end, Yarrow's legacy isn't just in the songs he sang, but in the feelings they continue to inspire. Rising to national attention through reality television, Phil Robertson was born on April 24th, 1946, and went on to become a figure who resonated far beyond the screen. Best known as the patriarch of Duck Dynasty, Phil brought a unique blend of authenticity, humor, and deeply rooted values into millions of homes. Long before the cameras arrived, he was a man shaped by the outdoors, someone who found purpose in hard work, faith, and family. That foundation became the heart of what viewers connected with. Whether he was sharing stories from his life, offering wisdom in his own straightforward way, or simply sitting with his family, Phil had a presence that felt genuine and unfiltered. What made him stand out wasn't just his role on television, but the consistency of who he was off screen. He remained grounded in his beliefs and never strayed far from the lifestyle he built long before fame found him. For many, he represented a simpler way of living, one centered on connection, tradition, and staying true to oneself. Phil Robertson passed away at the age of 79. While his passing marks the end of a remarkable life, his influence continues through the family he led and the values he championed. His story is one of resilience, conviction, and unwavering identity. In the end, Phil wasn't just a television personality. He was a symbol of staying rooted in what matters most. And for those who followed his journey, that legacy will not be forgotten. For television audiences in the late 20th century, Polly Holliday brought something unforgettable to the screen. With her portrayal of the sharp-tongued, quick-witted Flo on Alice, she didn't just play a character. She created a cultural moment. Her timing, delivery, and unmistakable confidence turned simple lines into catchphrases that still echo in pop culture today. Born on July 2, 1937, Holliday's journey to stardom wasn't rushed. She honed her craft in theater before stepping into television, and that foundation showed in every scene she performed. There was a rhythm to her acting, a natural ease that made even the boldest lines feel genuine. Flo wasn't just funny, she was real, grounded, and fiercely self-assured, a character audiences could laugh with and root for at the same time. What made Holliday truly stand out was her ability to balance humor with heart. Beneath the sass and sharp comebacks was a warmth that gave depth to her performance. She understood that comedy works best when it's honest, and that authenticity became her signature. Beyond Alice, Holliday continued to build a respected career across television, film, and stage. Yet, for many, she will always be remembered as Flo, the waitress who spoke her mind and never backed down. Polly Holliday passed away at the age of 88. While she may no longer be here, her work continues to live on, bringing laughter to new generations. In a world that often moves on quickly, her performances remain a reminder of how powerful a single character and a truly talented actor can be. For decades, she stood as a symbol of warmth, humor, and kindness, two simple words that became a cultural mantra. Be kind. They weren't just a slogan, they were a brand, a promise, and a public identity carefully built over years of television dominance. Behind the laughter, the dancing, and the record-breaking success, however, was a far more complex story. It was a story shaped by quiet pain, resilience, and reinvention. When her empire faced sudden scrutiny, those same words that once elevated her became tools of criticism. To understand how everything unraveled and what it truly cost, we must go back to the beginning, long before the fame, to a young girl in Louisiana learning how to survive by making others laugh. A childhood beneath the surface. From the outside, her early life looked like a portrait of a typical Southern upbringing, orderly, modest, and unremarkable. Her home was filled with laughter, guided by a gentle mother and a steady father. Yet beneath that calm exterior lay emotional fractures that would later shape her identity. Stability, she would learn, is often an illusion. When her parents divorced during her early teenage years, that illusion shattered. The emotional safety she once relied on disappeared quietly but completely. This moment marked a turning point, not just in her family life, but in how she saw the world. Humor, which had once been playful, began transforming into something deeper, something protective. It became a way to manage discomfort, to deflect pain, and to maintain a sense of control. When laughter becomes armor. As she moved through adolescence, her sense of humor evolved into a coping mechanism. It was no longer just about entertaining others. It became a shield against emotional weight she wasn't ready to confront. Life at home grew more complicated, marked by experiences she would only later address publicly. And even then, with restraint, these years left lasting impressions, shaping her emotional instincts and her relationship with vulnerability. Instead of expressing pain openly, she learned to translate it into wit. Laughter became a language she could control, one that allowed her to connect with others without exposing too much of herself. This ability would later define her career, but at the time it was simply survival, an instinctive response to circumstances she couldn't fully process. Leaving home too soon. By the age of 17, staying home had become more difficult than leaving. Her departure wasn't fueled by ambition or excitement, but by necessity. She found herself in New Orleans, navigating adulthood without a clear roadmap. Life became a series of jobs, waiting tables, selling products, painting houses, and working in offices that drained her spirit. Each role offered a glimpse into different worlds, but none felt like her own. Still, these experiences were quietly shaping her. She learned how to read people, how to sense moods, and how to adapt quickly, skills that would later become essential in her career. At the time, though, they were simply tools for getting through each day, helping her survive in an environment that offered little certainty. Discovering the stage. Her introduction to comedy wasn't part of a grand plan. It happened almost accidentally during a performance at a small coffee house. Standing before an audience with no polished material, she relied on instinct. What followed was transformative. The laughter she received wasn't just validation, it was connection. For the first time in years, she felt seen and understood. Comedy became more than a possibility, it became a path. Each performance allowed her to process emotions indirectly, turning personal experiences into shared moments of humor. The stage became a space where vulnerability felt safe, disguised within punchlines. What began as an experiment quickly evolved into a calling, giving her a sense of purpose she had been missing. The struggle of early comedy breaking into the comedy scene in the early 1980s was far from easy, especially as a woman. The industry was dominated by male performers, and opportunities for women were limited and often dismissive. She entered this environment anyway, armed with a unique voice that didn't rely on aggression or shock value. Instead, her humor was observational, gentle, and deeply human. She spoke about everyday experiences with a perspective that felt both intimate and universal. While recognition came slowly, it began to build. Being named one of the funniest performers in a national competition marked a turning point. It didn't guarantee success, but it affirmed that her instincts were valid, that her voice had a place, even in a space that wasn't designed for it. The breakthrough moment. Her appearance on national television marked a defining milestone. Performing in front of millions, she delivered a routine that showcased her distinct style, thoughtful, imaginative, and quietly profound. The response was immediate and powerful. It wasn't just applause, it was acceptance. That moment signaled her arrival on a much larger stage, opening doors that had previously seemed out of reach. For many performers, such opportunities are rare. For her, it was the culmination of years of persistence and self-belief. Yet even as her career gained momentum, the internal complexities she carried didn't disappear. Success brought visibility, but it also brought new pressures, expectations to maintain an image that was both authentic and universally appealing, building a cultural identity. As her career expanded, she became more than a comedian. She became a cultural figure. Her work began to resonate beyond entertainment, influencing how people thought about identity, authenticity, and acceptance. She cultivated a persona rooted in kindness and relatability, making audiences feel comfortable and included. This connection was key to her success, especially as she transitioned into television. Her show became a daily ritual for millions, offering a blend of humor, empathy, and positivity. It wasn't just about celebrity interviews, it was about creating a space where people felt valued. Over time, this identity became inseparable from her public image, reinforcing the idea that kindness wasn't just part of her brand, it was the foundation of it. A defining cultural moment. One of the most significant moments of her career came when she chose to publicly share her identity at a time when doing so carried immense risk. This decision wasn't just personal, it was cultural. It sparked conversations, challenged norms, and contributed to a broader shift in public perception. The impact was immediate and far-reaching, influencing both media representation and societal attitudes. However, this moment also came with consequences. She faced backlash, professional setbacks, and a period of uncertainty that tested her resilience. Despite these challenges, she remained committed to her truth, demonstrating a level of courage that would become a defining aspect of her legacy. Reinvention and resilience. After facing professional setbacks, she rebuilt her career with determination. Reinvention became a recurring theme, allowing her to adapt and evolve in an ever-changing industry. When her talk show launched, it marked the beginning of a new chapter, one that would bring unprecedented success. The show's format, blending humor with heartfelt moments, resonated deeply with audiences. It became a platform not just for entertainment, but for connection. Through consistent effort and a clear vision, she transformed the show into a cultural institution. This period represented the peak of her influence, solidifying her status as one of the most recognizable figures in television. The power of "be kind." The phrase "be kind" became synonymous with her identity, appearing in merchandise, messaging, and the overall tone of her work. It reflected the values she aimed to promote and the environment she sought to create. For years, it served as a guiding principle, reinforcing her image as a compassionate and approachable figure. However, this same phrase would later become a focal point of criticism. When allegations about workplace culture emerged, the contrast between her public persona and reported experiences became impossible to ignore. The simplicity of the message made the discrepancy more striking, raising questions about authenticity and accountability. The fall from grace. The summer of controversy marked a turning point. Allegations about the workplace environment surrounding her show led to widespread scrutiny and public debate. What had once been a symbol of positivity now faced criticism from multiple directions. The situation highlighted the complexities of leadership and the challenges of maintaining consistency between values and actions. For her, the experience was deeply personal and professionally damaging. It disrupted the connection she had built with her audience, introducing doubt where there had once been trust. The narrative shifted rapidly, demonstrating how quickly public perception can change in the face of new information. Stepping away from the spotlight. As the show came to an end, she stepped away from the daily routine that had defined her life for nearly 2 decades. This transition was more than a career change. It was a shift in identity. Without the structure of production and the constant interaction with audiences, she faced a period of introspection. Life became quieter, centered around personal interests and relationships. This time allowed for reflection, offering an opportunity to reassess priorities and experiences. However, stepping back didn't silence the public conversation. Discussions about her legacy continued, shaped by differing perspectives and interpretations. Living with complexity. Her story highlights the complexity of human character. She's neither entirely defined by her achievements nor solely by her controversies. Both aspects coexist, forming a more nuanced understanding of her legacy. This duality reflects a broader truth about public figures, that they are often held to standards that leave little room for contradiction. In her case, the tension between her message and the reported realities created a lasting impact on how she is perceived. Yet her contributions to cultural change remain significant, demonstrating that influence and imperfection can exist simultaneously. The legacy that remains. Despite the challenges, her impact on culture is undeniable. She helped shape conversations, challenge norms, and create spaces for representation. These contributions extend beyond individual moments, influencing broader societal shifts. While opinions about her may vary, the changes she helped initiate continue to resonate. Her story serves as a reminder that legacy is rarely straightforward. It is shaped over time, influenced by both actions and perceptions, In her case, it reflects a journey marked by resilience, innovation, and complexity. Conclusion: beyond the headlines. In the end, her story is not defined by a single narrative, but by a series of moments, some celebrated, others contested. It is a story of survival, reinvention, and the enduring search for authenticity. The girl who once used humor to cope with pain became a global figure, influencing millions. Her journey reminds us that the most impactful lives are rarely simple. They are layered, imperfect, and constantly evolving. What remains is not just the brand or the controversy, but the persistence, the refusal to stop speaking even when the world grows quiet,